Hello and welcome to Staying Up. Oh my God, take two. Hello and welcome to Staying Up with Cammie and Taryn. I'm Cammie, that's it.
I'm Taryn, and every night we have a sleepover, but every week we invite you to join us, so thanks
For staying up.
up.
Oh my God, I forgot. That was scary.
Yeah, you scared me a little.
I never think about it.
Come here, friend.
And I just say it. So if it just doesn't come out, I'm like, what?
What was I saying on our test recording that we didn't like? I was being really weird. I was like, hello, boys and girls.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
You just went, ooh, or something. You made like a weird noise. No, that wasn't it.
Oh.
It's so many times throughout the day, we will be like saying or doing something weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes against everything I've recently said on the podcast of like how the way Darren just placed her hand on my shoulder.
Hello, darling.
Felt like the most unnatural thing ever. Hello. But as many times as we will like make a saying and it'll stick forever,
Mm-hmm.
we also will constantly do something where I'll feel like we will never stop saying something, and an hour later we'll be like, what was that thing? And
You guys,
I have no idea.
I love to my core, to my heart, to my soul being when people say things wrong. The other day we had our friend Sim here, and she was trying to say pottery and she said pollery, and I literally couldn't stop saying it.
Yeah, it was something I had to really get over early on in our relationship, because I felt like because I say some words weird, like my accent's just weird and it comes out like I don't have a strong accent, but it comes out every now and then where it's like, okay, you're clearly from Pittsburgh, but I felt like I couldn't get two words out, and you'd be like, oh, and you'd say the thing and I'd be like, are you hearing me? And I was so irritated at it for so long, and then I saw you doing it to other people.
Yeah.
And saw that it was like an endearing thing, that like it brought you joy, and it was like not picking. Like I felt like
when you say it like that, it's like it's giving bully. Like it's like the bully being secretly endearing, and that's not how I see it at all. And I hope that's not how you. Is that how you see it? That I'm like,
no. But in the beginning, yeah, I was like, oh my God, you were just relentlessly picking, and it's frustrating me. And I would tell you, and then you'd be like, okay, and then you'd keep doing it, and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this girl? She's just picking on me.
Goodness.
But then like seeing you do it to other people, especially like your parents, I was like, oh, it's an endearing thing.
I'll just take any little excuse to have a little chuckle with my people.
And notice so much. Like I don't hear if people say something odd. And now I do, because you've trained me.
Yeah.
But
always look out.
Always looking. Always hearing. Ears wide.
But
open.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do it in, like, if say you were giving a speech.
Oh my God,
never.
no.
I would never raise my hand and be like, she said pollery instead of pottery. That's fucking nuts. This girl's dumb.
Excuse me?
No, it's always in the safety of our home,
not like
and
that.
When we're recording a podcast with others.
Yeah. No, it's any time. But it's not like, yeah.
You said that wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's
how
like,
are you,
that
honey?
Was silly. But I can't always say it to you because you think you're having a stroke.
I hate when you say it to me.
I know. That's the thing. Like I tried to like play back to get over that. I felt like she was picking on me, and I was like, oh, I'll just do it too. Like this is a thing. And then as soon as I did, she was like, no. It's a one-way street. She'll dish it. She's not taking it.
Well, I was just going to say one thing about me. I can dish it, but I can't take it.
That is so true.
I very rarely can take it.
Oh, you will shut your beanie.
Know. I'm out here punching, freaking out. And then when someone goes, tap, I go, ow.
Oh, little. Anyways.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm really good. Oh, you know, one thing I wanted to talk about, because I feel like I've touched on it.
Also, hello to our peepees. We haven't even said hi.
What's up, guys?
Hi. You're always here.
You're here. Obviously, the mic's here. You're here. So and I'm sure a lot of people go through this, especially as you get older, and honestly, even younger people who have like divorced parents, navigating family dynamics with the holidays. Like, I know the holidays are special, magical, but for a lot of people, they're really tough for a lot of different reasons. And I feel like we don't talk about that enough, like not you and I, but just like in general. And then when you're feeling sadness or you're feeling down, you either feel alone during the holidays or you feel like you're the only one going through that.
And like everyone's having joy and you're just like
grinching. And I feel like I experienced that on a very subtle level. I've been very lucky that my parents are still together. I've never had to deal with that. I have very loving family. I now have your family. So, I mean, I have a lot of good, which honestly sometimes even makes you feel more guilty for feeling stress or whatever.
Yeah, because you're like, I have kind of the ideal situation. Why am I stressed out?
And I feel like navigating who we spend our holidays with is really difficult. And it's been tough because it's like, oh, your family's here. So it's easier. It's logical. And I feel like we have to put in a lot of effort to make sure we're seeing my family. I don't want them to feel like they're second tier.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would get really frustrated with my mom that she'd be like, oh, like all the time, her whole MO was like, come home for Thanksgiving and just stay through Christmas. I'm like, Mom, I can't come for a month. And she'd be like, well, you work from home. Like, you can work from anywhere. And I'm like, that's not really how it works.
Yeah.
Holidays are my busiest time. She's like, holidays are my busiest time. And I'm like, you're not getting it. And I don't know what happened to this woman. Mom, if you're listening, did you go to therapy? Did somebody say something to you? She has made this year so easy. We can't get our dogs watched for Christmas. And Tara and I were thinking like maybe we do every other year with your family, then my family. But it's the hardest time to get a dog sitter. And they can't travel on the plane with us home unless they go under the plane. And we're not doing that. And I told my mom, like, you know what? We can't get a dog sitter. And I asked her before Thanksgiving, I was like, if you and Dad want to come out Thanksgiving, Christmas, anytime in between, let me know. We'd love to have you. We'll make it work. And maybe that's what clicked for her, that it was hard for her to come. So she understood it was hard for us.
I'm convinced.
I don't really like that, though.
Yeah, well, she's getting older. She had surgery. Whoa, that time I did burp.
I knew you were burping. Let me smell it. Let me smell it. Oh! It was the exact smell I smelled before.
That is literally so mean. I haven't even had beef jerky.
I know, but burps just sometimes smell like beef jerky.
I burped right now.
Not beef jerky, like a Slim Jim. Yeah.
Who is Slim Jim?
I hope he's really fat.
Who is Slim Jim?
Who is Slim Jim?
I bet.
Slim Jim?
It's some, like, he ate a bunch of Slim Jims and he's so slim because it's just protein.
Oh my God. He like at home batched them.
He's like
them.
Subway.
I bet he was
guy.
a butcher, and with the leftovers, he made little like beef sticks. I don't want to know. This is a story. I'm going with.
I would like to look it up. Can I look it up?
Yeah, go ahead. He's a butcher, and he made them with the leftovers, and everyone's like, "Why?"
Made them? Oh,
made
the Slim Jims.
Slim Jims, duh. Beef sticks. Is it? Am I right? You want to do research while I share?
Slim Jim is an American meat snack.
Oh, yeah, we know that.
They're widely available and popular in the United States.
Also, fact. You want to hear something so gross about me?
Go ahead.
So, when I was on a competitive hip hop dance team, when I think I was in middle school, it was like my first year, maybe second year, maybe I was a freshman in high school. The one girl who was on the team who's older would pick up a bunch of us to go to practice, and we would stop at the gas station to get a snack on our way. And me and this other girl every day for like a couple months, we would get a Slim Jim and a
Diet Coke.
No, and a white chocolate like crunch. I forget what those were called.
Like a crunch bar?
Like, yeah, like one of those like Hershey's white chocolate with like the crunchies in it. Every day for months. We would eat that and then dance. And cheer and like throw people and flip and like
throw up.
And I don't know how we didn't.
Wait, that's crazy.
Disgusting.
Picturing you gnawing on a Slimmy Jimmy is
whoa
so foul.
Horrific. Wait, did you figure out where?
Yeah, so there's a whole article.
This is now an educational podcast about Slim Jims.
There's an article called "The Slim Jim Name Was Meant to Sound Sophisticated." I'm not going to read the whole thing, obviously.
A Slim Jim, that does kind of sound, instead of like beef jerky. Wait, it's literally like the antithesis of beef, slim, beefy, slim, jerky, a gym. Wait, never mind. I don't know. I thought I was onto something.
According to Thrillist, perhaps taking inspiration from the sophisticated brand of cigarettes known as Virginia Slims, Levi's dubbed his new bar snack Slim Jim as a way to market them as a mature, respectable type of snack for the discerning patron. After all, a man with a Slim Jim and a glass of beer would appear more classy and masculine to the average bar goer.
I get that.
If I saw a man with a Slim Jim, I'm not thinking he's masculine. I'm thinking he's gross.
Yeah, but instead of reaching into a bag of beef jerky, shut up. A bag of beef jerky, like your hands are all gross.
No, I get that.
Like it makes more sense.
Also, I did try a new brand of Slim Jim like foods recently, and they are signed off by Tata's dad, and he says that they're really good, and they were really good. He's like a health freak, so the fact that he liked them,
that's good.
I was like, shit, I'm gonna be Slimmy Jimmy girl.
I'm so curious how we left my family trauma and started talking about Slim Jims. If anyone wants to rewind the tapes and let me know how we got here.
How did we get here?
I was like literally in the middle of a sentence and somehow we started talking about Slim Jims and I have no idea how.
Whoa.
Why. Yeah, that's a little glimpse into our day to day.
I don't know how we got here.
Yep. Anyways.
Anyway.
Well.
So are you feeling better this Christmas, giving your mom's newfound relaxedness?
I don't even know how much of the story I ended up sharing, but yeah, I told her that we couldn't come home for Christmas because of all that, and she was just so understanding and reasonable, and I was like, we can come home in the beginning of January. It's so much easier for us. We can be present, less chaos going on. And she was like, that's great. I just want to see you. And I was like, has my mom been kidnapped? Did someone steal her phone?
Yeah.
And it was just such a relief. So if anyone's out there like dealing with any kind of family, taking off that pressure, telling them like what your holiday plans are so that they have the information, make it easy for them. I saw this TikTok and it said make it easy for them to say yes and easy to say no. And that's the nicest thing you can do for a family member in figuring this out. Give them all the info, say we're doing this. Frank is just kicking the table, shaking our shit, stretching.
Slim Jim.
Make it easy for them to say yes and say no. Tell them the time, tell them info, and if they can't come, say that's okay, sweetie. Like we'll plan. Like don't make it hard on them because it's probably already hard. They want to see you. So yeah, that's been what's on my mind this week. My hand's sweating. Gross.
All that Slim Jim talk got you sweating on the mic.
Thinking about them Slim Jims.
Yeah, I like that, and I like the idea too that like your parents can change. Like you don't think about that.
Yeah.
Like you never thought your mom would be like that.
Well, it's like you can't
also
change
never
them. You
thought.
can't like force it.
No, but the fact that she's just like, you know what? Yeah, I'll see you in January. It's like, wow, old dogs can learn new tricks.
I want to like make sure I thank her for it. Like I want her to know that didn't go unnoticed and it meant a lot to me because I'm so sad that I'm not going to get to see them.
Of course, Christmas. It's not like a relief to not go home.
Yeah, but it's a relief that because I can't go home that I know she's not making it harder on me or making me feel like more guilty than I already do. So
yeah. Cammie's drinking from a coffee shop that we go to called Intelligentsia. That they have a really good coffee that is so good. Like has cinnamon and cayenne on top. It's really good. And have we told you guys the story of Joel?
I don't think so.
Okay. I was at a coffee shop the other day. I was at Intelligentsia by myself.
Maybe we did. I don't know. Go ahead.
I don't remember, but I'll be quick.
You're hearing it again.
Basically, I heard this voice that I just knew. I was like, I know this person. And I looked up to go see who it was. And it was the guy who plays Joel in Parenthood, one of my favorite TV shows, which I actually think is my favorite TV show. I always say one of my favorites. I do think it is the one.
Yeah, sometimes you try to say Friday Night Lights, but that's a clear second.
It's second, I think.
Like by a lot.
Not by a lot.
By a lot. Parenthood is obviously the winner.
Regardless. Joel is standing in this coffee shop and I'm starstruck and not starstruck because I'm like, it's fucking Joel. I know you. You're my friend. You're my brother. You're my.
You know him.
Yeah, I'm like, I know everything about your life. Yeah, I'm like, you're in my house. We're in our house together. And then he walks by and he's so cute, his little boots and the whole bit. He had a mustache, which was unique. Must have been filming something. I think he's method acting as like a pilot.
Like a local. Yeah. He didn't. Is he like is there a new Top Gun coming out? He didn't have a mustache today, did he?
No.
Oh.
Shaved it. Maybe that scene is done. Maybe he's back in the present time.
Maybe shaved it on camera.
Anyway. So I saw him and I was like, oh my God, crazy. Then every time I go to this coffee shop now, I try to manifest that I'm going to see Joel again. And I walk in and I'm like, Joel. I did that today. And I was like, but I was Joel. And then Cammie's like, oh my God.
We sat down and I looked up and I saw somebody come in and they just like had an air about them. And he had little like aviator sunglasses on and some kind of jacket. And he walked like slow, but not slow in an obnoxious way, like slow, like confident and like I'm in no rush.
Yeah, he's such a stroller.
Yeah. Oh my
like,
God, such a stroller. Like when he walked by us, well, at that point I was like, you could walk a little faster. Like it was so slow. And then he had his coffee, so then naturally walking slow.
I almost want to say something. It's so cute when people have a full cup of coffee and they're trying to get back to their table. It's all fucking shaking and they're like, oh. I'm like, dude, do you need help?
Something so cute about it. You
so
carrying
cute.
both of our coffees. It's like you're thinking about it. You would never shake ever. Like you didn't need to. It's not heavy. If you just walk normal, nothing would spill. But knowing you have hot coffee filled to the brim, you're like,
and then seeing Joel do that, I'm like, Joel, you're
one of us.
You're too manly Slim Jim to be doing this.
And then it was a star-studded day because then the girl from Grownish and Blackish, what's her name? Yara? Is that right?
Or Yari or something.
I forget her name. She is strikingly beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, I knew she was beautiful. I watched Grownish, but like
I thought it was Panda's friend Jade at first.
She does kind of look like her.
I was like, it's Jade. I know Jade.
A little
but then
bit.
it wasn't
Yeah.
Jade.
Yeah. She was so beautiful. And like, she was like, kind of had like a resting bitch face when she was just standing, like she was with somebody, but not talking to the person.
Baby come out swinging.
No, but like normally when people are like that, they don't look as beautiful because it's like it's like a negative expression or whatever. But there was like
she was looking pretty.
Oh my God, she was so stunning. I was like, you're not a human.
But I never see Cammie get starstruck, and you were starstruck over Joel.
I at first was like, oh my God, why am I feeling so crazy? But I think because it was the excitement of you being like, Joel's got to be here. He's got to be here. And then as soon as we sat down, I was like, I feel like a witch. We made this happen.
I'm looking up Joel Parenthood so people can know his name.
Oh
my God.
What's his name?
Sam Jager. His name is Sam.
Jager? Gun to my head, I would have never guessed that.
See, he looks like a Sam.
Yeah, but I just don't. I've never known his name.
Yeah.
I also don't realize he's a human outside of his character.
That's what I'm getting at. That's why I'm like, you have a house to build, kids to watch.
Get out of here.
How are you?
It's 9 a.m. on a
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
This is the Joel I know. He would
here.
never be slowly sauntering through a coffee shop.
You are busy. But
he would
that's
have a tool belt.
I don't want to say hi to him because I don't want anything to not give me Joel vibes.
No, he'll be the same. I know it.
Joel would never wear aviators.
Anyway, so
Joel's
that was
not that cool. He's like subtle cool. He's like dad cool.
I feel like aviators are subtle cool. Whatever. That was a big win for us.
Yeah.
Massive win. Also, I've been doing a lot of Christmas shopping, and I find it really stupid that if you're on the same Wi-Fi, you get ads that the other person was looking at.
I think it's great because it's like I see something that you were looking at for you, and then I'm like, I see it, and I'm like, oh, I bet Taryn would like this, and I know, but I don't. It doesn't say Taryn searched blah blah.
But
blah.
I know it wasn't me.
But not all ads are stuff we've both looked at.
But most are.
I'll get ads for stuff that I know are geared towards what I would like. You're not searching them, and I don't like. You know what I mean? It's not true.
What if you're getting fed ads of things that I bought you, and you're like, I don't like that.
Maybe.
Whatever. But it did get me thinking. Do you ever get fed ads that make you think you're a super fan of something? Like you get fed so many ads of the same style or thing, and you're like, Jesus, is this what the internet gods think of me?
Yeah.
You want to know what mine has been?
Do I?
Yeah. It's not like weird. Beef jerky. No.
Bunch of Slim Jim.
Yeah, I'm a Slim Jim connoisseur.
Wait, before you jump into that, it would be so smart if there was a way, like, you know how I keep thinking about all these lists and like ways to like make Christmas shopping easier? Mm-hmm. If you were looking, you could like select, be like send ad out. No. Like I want this item. Like, you know how on TikTok people be like, his For You page, not mine.
Yes.
If you were like, you were able to click it and be like, send to people on this network.
That is so funny, honey.
Like, get this, like, pump this shit out.
You could like target ads at people.
Or if I'm seeing a TikTok and it's like, what your girl really wants, and I'm like, yes, I relate to this, but I don't want to send it to you. It's like I could click like a share with the network, and it like starts showing up on your.
What if you could pay for it to go on my page, like $1?
Yes,
that'd be cool. But I would probably swipe past it.
I know. You'd be like, what's this bullshit?
Okay. Snoopy.
Well, that's not shocking at all.
I like Snoopy, of course. Who doesn't? Good guy, good dog.
You talk about it more. Like your family has sent me stuff of like, oh my god, look at this Snoopy Christmas thing. You should get it for Taryn. And
Snoopy, I'm like, Christmas is yes. Obviously.
But
Snoopy
regular
Christmas is
Snoopy? Hell no.
no year round. I'm getting Snoopy shit. Like if
because
you just
Christmas time, you're searching Snoopy Christmas.
that's true. But I do just think it's making me think that I'm like a Snoopy fanatic.
Yeah. It's
which
kind
I'm
of like
so not.
when you mention like hippos one time when you're 5 and then
Yes.
everyone in your family buys you like every hippo memorabilia.
That's what's happening
forever.
to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know. I don't know Snoopy. I don't know where he came from.
What
I
was
don't
your
know.
Snoopy as a kid? Did you have a Snoopy?
I mean,
God.
Pooh Bear.
Pooh, but that's cute.
I was like a Pooh Bear fanatic, and my brothers, Sandra
Yeah.
made my brothers watch it with me. And then
That's
Hey
really
Arnold was like,
that was your Snoop.
that was my Snoop.
Nice.
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop. Oh.
Is that why Snoop Dogg is called Snoop Dogg?
Does Snoop Dogg love Snoopy?
Wait, it literally,
Snoopy is a dog.
I'm breaking the internet right
Was
now.
he allowed? Was that not like copyright issues? Infringement?
No, you can say Snoop Dogg. That's not Snoopy.
He had to drop the Y, the E, Snoopy.
What if his name was Snoopy? That'd be really different
Snoopy
energy.
Doggy.
Snoopy Dogg. Did you see that ad campaign that he did?
Which one?
It was really good. Snoop Dogg.
Is this a joke?
Nope. He he just posted a thing that said like, I've given up smoke. Please respect my privacy during this time, whatever. And everyone's like, no fucking way Snoop is giving up smoking. Like that's his entire life.
Yeah.
But then people, all the comments are like, so proud of you. Weed is so da 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 blah blah blah.
No.
But then he like did a partnership with
It's like an edible.
It's like a smokeless fire thing. And that's like what it was about.
That's funny.
I don't think he actually gave up smoking. But
No.
for a while people were like, that's crazy. Snoop ain't smoking.
Snoopy no smoke.
Snoopy no smoky.
Whoa, we are 20 minutes into this epi and we haven't even gotten on our main topic. Shall we transition?
Yeah.
Or do you have any more updates you want to share? with our
No, I
little
can
baby?
save these for another time.
Okay.
Look. We asked you guys to send in some cues and some stories about a very specific topic that apparently has infected PP City.
Yeah. I mean, it's an experience we all share besides birth and death, I think.
Yeah.
Unless you're an incel.
It's breakups.
That's too optimistic.
Yeah. So a lot of you are, dare I say, drowning in the breakup pond.
Apparently it's not cuffing season. It's cutting season.
Oh, nice. I was going to say it's fuck you season, but that was
Ooh,
going to be crazy.
That was crazy.
Yeah, y'all are struggling. And
Sorry, guys.
we have been through some breakups in our life.
Plethora.
And we thought we'll share a little bit of our breakup background briefly and then answer your questions. And we're just going to march through them. We kind of split them up into a timeline so that you can follow along a little bit easier. So we'll answer some pre-breakup questions, then the like actual navigating going through the breakup, and then the aftermath of a breakup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to tell me about your breakup history?
Yeah, I think I've had like 3 main breakups. I think a lot of people experience my first 2 breakups in one breakup. My first breakup is like first girl I was ever with, and I feel like that just hits different. It's like a lot of people go through the experience of I finally met a girl who likes me.
Yeah.
I like her back. Like I found my type. I'm never going to find another gay person that I like that likes me. And you're almost like trauma bonded if you come
100%.
out together, which I did. Like I went through the whole process of like,
I'm picturing like a war zone and people like coming out from the rubble together.
it's literally how it feels.
That, yeah.
So it's like you're younger, so everything feels heavier because it is. Whether you're right for this person, whether they're right for you, it's so hard. You stay in it longer than you should. There's so much wrapped up into it.
Yeah.
And you're growing up, so like you're changing, you experience so much. I think that that's probably the most like traumatizing breakup.
Yeah.
But very, very necessary for people to go through.
Yeah.
I'm like so scared for our future kiddos to have to go through that and be like, oh, I want to like suck that pain away from you.
Yeah. We both had that
can't.
breakup.
Yeah. It's just hard. There's so much involved in it.
And it's also very like tumultuous. Like, did we actually break up? Are we together? You still talk a lot. You drag your feet. It's like,
yeah,
it's messy. I would call that one the most like gut-wrenching, naively gut-wrenching, and just needlessly messy. But because you're just like, this is it. This is all I know.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of times that relationship for people is with somebody close to you, whether they go to your school or you work with them, or it's like, especially if you went through the coming out process with them, like it happened so naturally that they were there. They're intertwined in your life somehow. Yeah. So it's like hard to get away from that person. It's hard to have a clean break. Yeah. There's just, it's so intertwined. It's like you got to unknot it to get out of that.
Then breakup 2.
My breakup 2 was like the like first adult relationship. I felt like I knew who I was. Very public breakup. I think that was like, the first one sucked, but I think as soon as I got out of it, I was like, okay, that wasn't right. The second one was like the big heartbreak, messy still, confusing, and just like, yeah, it was like there was no back and forth. I feel like that one, there was less closure. It was just complicated. And again, very intertwined. I think that's a common theme for queer people. Yeah. Like they become your best friend. Your friends are all the same. Yeah. That one was incredibly isolating and just tough. And then obviously to like go through it online and have people making assumptions and being like not wanting to like publicly talk shit or air stuff out, but being like, oh, this is just not right. Like, and being hurting, and then people being mad at me. And I'm like, but I'm hurting. Like, what the heck? So I think that was just messy.
That was messy in a way that most people should not and will not ever be able to relate to.
Yeah. But I think that was the one at the, like now looking back at when I'm in my 30s, me at that age though thought I was like full adult. I think also because when we grew up, like, and we've talked about this where you're like, oh, I'm going to be married by 23. I remember being in that relationship and being like, okay, I want kids by this age.
Yeah. You're like, this is endgame.
Married by this age. I want to be engaged by this age. So if all of that math is correct, I need to be getting engaged now. Yeah. And this is the person I'm with. Yeah. So this needs to be happening now. So when that ends, you're like, whoa. Yeah. Now that that's done, that messes up everything. Like, I don't even know my person who I'm going to be with. And that was such a scary feeling. And now looking back, it's really funny that I'm like, oh, yeah, thank God it all works out how it should. But in the moment, you're like, my life is over. It's crumbling.
Oh, yeah. You're like, I'm like a divorced mom at the age of 60. Yeah. It's like, it feels like, like
the
your
ground
whole
has just been like ripped from underneath you.
100%.
Did you have that relationship where you like thought, like, I don't think I was ever really thinking, I never felt fully ready to get married, but thinking about, did you do that? Like thinking of the timeline? I mean, you were almost engaged once, so.
Yeah, I feel like mine, well, and then you had your, well, whatever. Yes, I think mine didn't follow the like normal 3 relationship trajectory. It was like they kind of went backwards and a little intertwined. Like my college relationship with my boyfriend in college was very like, we're gonna get married. Yeah, this is gonna be our life. Like,
these are the steps I should take.
Yes. And then when we broke up, it was like, okay, that would have been a dumpster fire. Yeah. I burped again.
Fucking Slim Jim, man.
Slimmy Jimmy. And then my first relationship with my girlfriend.
With my girl.
With my lesbian lover. That was like so chaotic and crazy for the religious reasons and then the girl reasons. It was just a lot was happening there. Yeah. And then my big relationship, like as an adult, was the relationship before we got together, which was like 4 years. That was me living in a different city. It was like, that was like the most adult and like settled that I felt. Yeah. But I think we both knew it was not, like in retrospect, we both knew we weren't for each other. Yeah. But it was so like easy.
It worked in the moment.
We were just like buddies in a way that was like, we're chilling. We're in the same life stage. We're hanging out. We're having fun, whatever. But like, we're not for each other, and we know that.
Sometimes I think those can be the hardest breakups, though, where you're like, we love each other, we respect each other, but like, we're not doing each other any favors. No, but it's hard to think,
and we're not doing each other any like massive disservice.
Yeah, but it's like, how it feels. But it's also, it's you deserve somebody who's going to be like so excited to be with you, all these things. But it's hard to think that way because you're like, but maybe not. Maybe there isn't someone. Maybe we're easy. Like when you're in it, you don't think about like, oh, there's somebody better, because you're like, but there's nothing wrong with this.
Totally.
Until you have better and you're like, oh my God, what was I doing? And they have better and you're like, thank God.
I think it's kind of confusing because when you think about your friendships, it's like, I don't look at my friendships and go like,
this could be better.
This could be better. Or like, this should be
Yeah.
easier, or this should be whatever, which I think you should do that maybe to some extent. But it's like, you're like, these are my people and I got them and I love them. And I'm going to be with them because they're my people and they always have been.
But I guess that's because you can, I mean, obviously, sometimes people choose to have multiple partners, but generally speaking, you have multiple friends.
Yeah.
And they come and go, and it's like your person is like who you're choosing. I think that's a scary thing. And that's probably why a lot of people do start to subscribe to like polyamory, because they're like, it's putting too much pressure on this one situation to be quote unquote perfect.
Totally.
But you just need to get out of that mindset of it being perfect.
All to say, breakups are a lot, and depending on where you are, where they are, what time in your life, how you feel, where you are in your sexuality, like it's a mess, and they're clearly hurting the peepees. So
you've had 3 major breakups?
I've had 3 major breakups, and then you. And then this breakup, which we're here to announce.
Yeah, and my whoa, not funny. My 3rd breakup, I think that relationship went on too long. I really do think I was running from my life here after my breakup before that.
Yeah.
And just trying to find an escape and trying to like cope and recover and like mourn that. And I did it in the wrong way. So hopefully y'all can learn from my lessons. And I do think it was like almost like a rebound that went wrong. And then it was just like trauma and
the never-ending
chaos.
Rebound.
Yeah. And just like so clearly not right from the jump. And then just like I felt like I didn't trust myself. I think from coming out of a relationship where I was like, this is my person, and then that ending, it was like, okay, maybe I don't know what my person is and what that looks like. Like maybe I just did not trust myself and my judgment for a while.
Yeah.
And I had to like really get to know myself again and trust myself again. And then thank God did.
Now look at us.
Now look at us, baby.
No more breakups.
No more breakups ever.
Okay, so the first question that we got, that's our history. We're going to hop into yours.
Yeah.
First cue that we got is pre-breakup. How to know when it's time. What are the signs for when to break up / how to break up? We're going to try to cruise through a little bit because there are some meatier stories in here. Yeah. How to know when it's time.
I do think like partially with this question, it's almost like how do I know if I'm gay? It's like, well, if you're asking it, you're probably a little gay.
Yeah.
With this, if you're like contemplating it most days, that's not healthy. And maybe that's something you need to work on in yourself. Maybe you're the type that like runs or doesn't know how to read situations well. Mm-hmm. But if you're in therapy and you feel like you're in a good place and you know yourself, if you're constantly asking yourself like multiple times a week, like, should I not be in this?
Yeah.
I think you shouldn't be in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I even think once a week is a lot.
Yeah.
But another like small things I guess that I would look out for is like, do you like to be away from them? Which I know sounds ridiculous, but like, are you like, I want to go hang out with my friends so badly without this person often?
Yeah, often. I think it's very healthy to have space from each other.
Of course. But if like you go out with your friends without your person and you're like, oh, I feel so much more like myself, I feel whatever, like that's not the vibe.
You feel safer and happier when this person's not around.
If you have major life preferences and you know that, and you've been like that are different and you've been pushing that off, I think that is, I'm team nip it in the bud, and I haven't always been good at that, obviously, as we just talked about, but like that is always the right call. There is no need to draw a relationship on. Mm-hmm. Like no one has ever been like, thank God I let that drag on for years, ever.
Yeah.
And it's like,
well, to combat that though, I think a lot of people I've talked to who are married and older say like there are phases that you will have in your marriage where you have to stick it out. So I think
marriage
that kind of commitment
sense.
is a little bit different, but like if you're already going through these intense periods of like dissatisfaction, why?
And also, like, the question of what are the signs of a breakup, you should never be needing to solve a riddle to figure out if you're going to be broken up with or you want to break up with someone.
Yeah.
Like,
are you happy?
if you are looking for signs within yourself or within your person to see if they're going to break up with you or if you might break up with them, happy couples are not generally doing that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that means it has to be a breakup, but a conversation absolutely needs to be had.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like if you're having these feelings and issues and if you don't feel comfortable talking to your partner, that's not great.
Yeah.
And if you are talking to your partner and things just aren't changing and you guys just can't get on the same page, like that just might not be the person for you. But also take that time to look in yourself and what you can fix and what you can change. And like, are you stepping it up? Are you unhappy that you guys aren't connecting?
Yeah.
Then are you taking time to schedule dates and plan?
Yep.
Maybe not. So step it up there. And if they don't meet you there,
Totally.
then maybe that's not the right relationship.
I also think that, like, I would sit back in your life and think, okay, when are times that I knew that something was done, that something was ending? Whether that's like, okay, it was pretty clear I was ready to leave this job.
Yeah.
Sit back and go, why was that clear to me? What was happening in my head that made me think, okay, I think I don't love this anymore? Yeah. Was it, oh, you notice yourself daydreaming more? You notice yourself being more attracted to other opportunities?
Yeah.
You noticed that you just wanted to clock in and clock out. Like, then take those same things that where you've gotten that feeling elsewhere and bring that like into your relationship sector and be like, okay, is that the same energy that I'm just not letting myself own?
Yeah.
Because it could be. It might not be, but it could help you figure out like what your internal way of knowing when things are over is.
Yeah. I think that's great advice.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Next, we are going into navigating/going through the breakup.
Oof.
First is we got a couple questions on breakups in friend groups. So ex has the same friends or friends breaking up with each other. Classic. Or whatever. What do you think there? I feel like you've experienced that a lot more because you have a lot more gay friends than I do.
Yeah, I just think, again, this is so like queer culture, especially lesbians, that everything
be queer coded. I was like, okay, trendy girl.
It is very queer coded. But yeah, I think it's just hard. Your partner, especially with lesbians, becomes your best friend. Like a lot of people say that, but it really does happen. And a lot of times we meet these people through our friends. God, this is so hard. I think if you're a friend watching friends go through a breakup, one, sometimes your friend brings in their partner and they become your friend. I think like you need to be there for your initial friend and support them. But they did bring this person in. You are entitled to those friendships. I don't really feel it's fair when you bring somebody into a friend group to be like, well, we broke up, you can't talk to them.
Yeah, now you have to go out.
I think you're setting yourself up for failure. And this is really hard to navigate, but almost think of it as like parents who get a divorce, how they handle that with their children.
Yeah.
Don't talk badly about the person. Like you can, of course, vent to your friends and ask for advice. But even when I went through a really toxic breakup where someone was being awful to me, I didn't want to result to like, this person is insane and awful. And like, how can you be friends with them? Because I knew I dated this person for X amount of years.
Yeah.
And I fell for those things. So of course friends would too.
Yeah.
And if anything, I said, I need to take space from you. I like right now, I just don't want any contact with this person. So I don't want to put that on you. And I'm never going to tell you who to be friends with. I just like need to take a minute. I'm sorry. I'll be back kind of thing. So yeah, I think just never telling people who they can and can't be friends with. You just don't have the right to do that. You can share your feelings, but you can't. The boundaries you set are for yourself. You can't telling people what to do is not setting a boundary.
Yep.
And then I think scheduling time, planning. Again, this sounds like a divorced parent, but like
that is,
hey, I'm going out. I'm going to this place. Like, do you mind if I hang out with the crew this night? Like, I don't want to have to be around each other. Or ask your friends like, hey, is so-and-so invited? Don't tell them you can only invite one of us, but can you just give me a heads up if she's going to be there?
Yeah. And I can see where I'm at mentally if I want to be there or not.
Yeah. Don't put pressure on your friends to invite or not invite. Just say, hey, totally fine if you invite her. Just give me a heads up. Like,
yeah,
I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to come.
And maybe some hope for y'all is like in our friend group, many people have dated each other, and with time, people can hang out with each other again. Not one-on-one, not, they're not like in small groups hanging out and whatever, but like if we're having a Friendsgiving or we're, to our wedding, we had some exes there that were with each other and like, it's fine. But I think the main thing that I wish people thought about, or I wish people just did during breakups, is you need time apart. I'm such a proponent of stop talking, stop hanging out with each other.
Yeah.
It is the one thing that results in a more tumultuous heartbreak, terrible breakup situation is like not letting yourself cut ties.
Yeah.
So I think that's what makes real like friendship mingling breakups hard, but it's so important.
Yeah.
Don't create
use the friend
space.
group as an excuse to see the person,
which we all
and
be
you
doing.
will.
Yes.
But like, oh my God, you are just prolonging your pain and
100%.
suffering using those excuses of like, oh, I'm just going because my friends are going. It's like you're going to see that person.
Yeah.
And that's not healthy for anybody.
100%.
So just like take your time, communicate with your friends. Don't drag them into the messiness of it. Don't make it hard for your friends.
Yep.
Take time, take space. Like you don't always have to be together with everybody. That's not good. Not good.
And it'll suck because you'll see your friends hanging out with your ex and you're like, ugh. But if they're true friends, they're not going to be talking shit about you and they're going to be wishing that you were there, and you have to hope that your friends are mature enough to handle that. And if they're not, then this is a bigger question than that.
Yeah.
This is maybe new friend time.
I also think a lot of times friends have a hard time not naturally gossiping. Like if your ex hung out with them and they'll come back and they'll share like, oh yeah, she's talking to someone, she's on Hinge or whatever. So you might need to set those boundaries of like, hey, just don't share any info with me. But it's hard because you have to be the strong one in that, where you're going to want to be like, what's going on? Tell me everything.
And you don't know your boundaries until someone hits a boundary. Yeah, like that's, you should try to be forthcoming and be like, I don't think I can handle that.
Yeah.
But give yourself low grace if you find a boundary by someone hitting it.
Yeah. Or like even be proactive and make a list of like, I know this is going to be tough. I know I shouldn't be going and getting drinks when this person's there, because if I'm drunk, I might not have a sound of mind. I might say something, do something. I shouldn't do this. Friends shouldn't tell me this. That way you're not waiting for the moment to make that split decision where like your emotions are involved.
100%.
Do it ahead of time where you can be more logical about it.
Okay. Ready for the next?
Yeah. Hit me.
This person signed it. Girl who has felt like a punching bag.
Oh.
I'm going through the first breakup. I'm going through the breakup of my first serious relationship and my first proper lesbian relationship. We're 25 now. We were together for 1 year, but we had huge plans for our future together. So it's strange to see it fall apart. Ultimately, feelings changed and our attachment styles are different. The breakup was my decision. I struggle with overthinking. Do you have advice for trusting your gut and dealing with knowing your ex and their friends/family don't like you anymore, or even don't think you're a good person anymore? I should add, the whole way through the breakup, I've made every decision with her feelings in mind and trying to be as kind and honest as possible.
Aw. I mean, breakups suck. And whenever you're getting broken up with, like, you do vilify the person.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need to. Like,
yeah.
You got to let your ex kind of mourn it. And if she's shit talking you to her friends and her family, unfortunately, it's none of your business anymore.
Yeah. And she's just trying to stay afloat.
Yeah. And it sucks. No one wants to be like bad talked, especially by someone that they were with and they love. But you sound like you made this decision for a reason. I think when going through a breakup, like we've already said, I think the biggest thing in breakup is get space from that person. Stop talking to them. Stop finding ways to communicate with them. I think a good way to remember that is make a list. Why did we break up?
Yep.
Why did this not work? It's so get a little note page. Anytime you want to text them, anytime you're thinking about them, anytime you're regretting your decision or thinking like, was that right? Have your list of like, one of us wanted kids, one didn't. We didn't communicate well. Whatever your reasons.
She was a fucking bitch.
Sure. Whatever your reasons were for that breakup, have like 5 on a list.
Yep.
And whenever you're having those moments of weakness, read it, because I also feel like after a breakup, we kind of romanticize the relationship.
100%. You're like,
wait,
but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, you're like, but they were amazing. I love them. Like we could have made it work. It could be better.
It didn't work.
It didn't work for a reason.
Wasn't going to get better.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's great that you're keeping her in mind in every decision, but if you're breaking up with someone, you are inevitably hurting them, but it's a lot better than staying with somebody that you don't want to be with. That hurts them even more. So 100%. You kind of got to take it on the chin and be the stronger one in this moment. Especially like if she's bummed about the relationship, she might be coming back and trying to talk and trying to make it work.
Yeah.
You got to just stay strong in that moment.
Agreed. No notes.
Wow. Thanks.
Okay. Lisa says, these are all fake names because we didn't know what people wanted. Okay. Hi. So I recently broke up with my girlfriend of 3.5 years. I have a lot of love for her, had doubts that I could no longer ignore about whether she was meeting my needs. We had conversations of things I wanted to change, and change wasn't made. Good on you for having those conversations, by the way. Now she feels blindsided that I ended things and says I didn't try or give it a chance, but I feel like I did try, and I'm finally accepting the relationship for what it is instead of what I think it could be.
Wow.
Love
Lisa.
it.
Amazing.
Lisa, you beach. I love it. She wants me to give her another chance. We've been broken up for 2 weeks, and now we've gone through periods of not talking and are currently not speaking. How do I manage feeling sad and missing my best friend and wanting to talk to her, but knowing that I can't comfort her right now because the breakup feels right for me? It's like I still feel loyal to her and want her to be okay, but also don't want to give her false hope of a future by talking to her. For context, this was my first ever relationship, and she's the first girl I've been with. I only went on one date with another girl before her, so it all feels very emotional. And I didn't realize it would still feel so shitty to be the one doing the breakup. Looking for any words of comfort.
Aww.
Okay, then I'm gonna read this other one because they're very similar, and we can speak to both.
Okay.
Sasha says, I got broken up with for the first time very recently. My ex and I, different person. I mean, maybe. My ex and I were together for 4 years. We ended on good terms. We have a lot of love for each other, but realized that our relationship would simply not work out long term because we have different goals for the future. It felt wrong to invest a lot of time and energy into a relationship that probably would not last. Either way, we love each other so much and can't deal with the idea of not being in each other's lives. We started talking again pretty quickly after the breakup, which felt nice because she was the only one I wanted to share my pain and sadness with, and the only one who could truly understand what I was going through. But it's making this so confusing. I almost keep forgetting we're not in a romantic relationship anymore. I'm very much in denial, and she has mentioned many times that she regrets breaking up. I just basically really need advice on how to navigate this. We want to stay friends. In an ideal world, we would still be together, but getting back together seems wrong because of the reasons we broke up. Is it possible to be friends after breaking up? I don't know what the right thing to do is.
Look me in the eyes. Stop talking to your ex right after the breakup. You can't do it.
Now look me in the eyes. Stop.
I'm a big proponent of, if you want to be friends with an ex, which I don't actually know that I even feel is ever plausible now, but I know it's way hard and way more convoluted in the queer community, but you have to become strangers to be able to be friends. You cannot go from, this is my person who I'm romantic with and in love with, and now, oh, we're just friends.
Yep.
That's not possible.
No.
You have to forget each other, grow, change, re-meet each other. And if that moment, whenever you're hanging out again, seeing them, if you get these little twinges in your heart or in your butthole.
Whoa.
No, don't go there. Don't do that
Not
to yourself.
the butthole twinge.
Don't be a masochist. Like, that is
I think if you get
painful.
a twinge in your butthole, you should stay close to this person. It's pretty magical.
Like so Lisa with that first one, like, it's been 2 weeks and they go through periods of not talking. 2 weeks is nothing. How long are these periods of not talking? 2 hours? You, like, I get that you want to comfort this
okay,
person.
Matt Rife. I don't know, like being like intense.
Oh no,
it was a funny
horrible
joke because
comparison.
Matt Rife is a canceled comedian. But all he does is crowd work. Anyway.
Anywho, what was I saying? Oh, when
2
you
weeks,
break
how
up
long?
with somebody, of course you want to make them feel better. You feel bad. You don't want to hurt this person, especially like you have love for them. It wasn't this like big messy breakup. You cannot be the cause and the cure all at once. You're just gonna keep hurting them.
Damn, mic drop. The cause and the cure. Did you have that in your back pocket?
No.
That was good.
Thanks. You just can't. It's not healthy. It's not fair. You're stringing them along and making them think like, maybe they do love me. Maybe we could, you know what I mean? Because you're thinking about it from two different sides. So one person is like, I want you back. And you're like, I just want you to feel better.
It's honestly habit. I hate to tell you this, but like you talking to this person, the hello and the good nights and the whole thing, like it is habitual. You've done it for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
It is going to feel weird to not talk to them. And of course, a lot of that is you missing them, but also a lot of that is just you doing a thing every single day for 4 years and then suddenly not doing the thing. So I would try to replace the habit with something else to kind of get your mind off of it. It's like, okay, well, I'll text my mom every morning and say I love you. Or one of my best friends or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute.
And like try to redirect it, because you're always going to have that feeling of like, my phone's not buzzing like it used to. Like I feel less known. I feel less like people care about the little shit going on in my day. So tell your friend, hey, I need you to step it up on texting for the next month. Like, would you try that with me?
Yeah.
Because I'm feeling misplaced.
Yeah.
Again, y'all, it's so not infuriating. It's so relatably frustrating to hear that y'all want to be friends with your exes and you want to talk to them and you miss them and all of this shit, because we've all been there. I've been there. You've been there. And it is a terrible, real feeling. But being on the other side of it, healed 3 times over, you as well, it is so necessary. You are doing yourself such a disservice.
Yeah.
You are hurting yourself and them in the long run. And I don't know how else to say it other than to say, trust me.
Yeah. I just think if you're the person who did the breaking up, you have to be the strong one and not be there. I know you might think that your text is harmless and you're just checking in on them and you're trying to be a good friend. But if that person is feeling blindsided, not saying that they deserve to feel blindsided, like, and they just didn't read the signs, whatever they're feeling, they're going to cling on to any word you say, anything you do. They're going to read into that and like, it's giving them hope and it's prolonging their pain.
Yep.
It's like, you got to let them heal. You have to let that wound close up. And every time you talk to them, see them, say something, you're like ripping that wound back open.
Yep.
And you're not planning to get back with them. So don't do that. Like you now have that responsibility to be the strong one, I feel.
It's like, imagine I just got let go from my job, which I did. Imagine I go and I pull up to my office every day and I look at it from outside and I'm just like, I'm here. This is what I do. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm not going in like I used to. So I'm just going to kind of be around and I guess I'll come back later tonight. It's like, you have to change the thing that you do.
Yeah.
You cannot keep talking to this person. You can't keep showing up at the office.
Even worse, imagine
the
your
doors
manager
are closed.
kept calling you every day.
Yeah.
That would just be inappropriate.
I'm like, no, I can't talk to you anymore.
You gotta go. You have
Leave me
to
alone.
go.
I want to miss you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sorry, but it will get better. And I promise.
I know it's the last thing people want to hear. They're like, no, give me the tips of how to be this friend. And it's like, I'm not saying you can never be, but this is the one tip that I will stand by that is a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
You cannot be friends at first.
No.
Just like drop
we
them
have
for a bit.
and this is not something that's like, oh, when you're young, this is just something you go through and it gets easier. It doesn't get easier. We have friends right now going through breakups that are having the same problem.
100%.
And we're having the same conversations of like, bro, cut the line. You're hurting each other.
Yeah.
And they know it. We all know it.
Yeah.
It's just one of those truths
Literally
of
was texting
life.
with my friend this morning about this very thing and was like, she does not need to know this information.
No.
You guys are not together. You you're just hurting each other more and more. You ended on good terms and now you're like digging the knife in because now you're not being clear. Like the same idea of like, I do not agree with a break. You either break up or you don't. Like a break is just confusing and causing more trauma.
A break breaks people.
Yeah, it does.
Beautiful, right?
So true.
What was I gonna say?
Everyone go through this. We have friends right now. La, 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 la.
I don't know. I had something really good. Just know that it would change your life.
I believe it.
Okay. Georgie.
Hi, Georgie.
This one's fun. So here's my not so exciting story. I've been talking to a girl online for over a year. We almost talked every day. I've been very upfront with her from the beginning of the situation that I've been in the closet for all of my life. I'm 26 and it's not likely that I'll ever be able to come out. I live in a really small country, a really small town in Europe. Eventually she admitted that she had feelings, said it's too painful to continue talking, so she ended our relationship. She was really patient and understanding, never pressured me or anything. It just got too hard, I guess, for the both of us. Being in a relationship with a girl is way too confusing. Like, they're actually nice and considerate of your feelings. Like, what the fuck is that about? It's weird in a good way, of course. Anyways, my question is, how do you get over someone that you've never actually been in a romantic relationship with in the first place? Or can you even call it a breakup? It's just been hard because it's just been hard because she was also the only person that I could truly be myself around. And I have no one to talk to about this. Georgie, I'm really sorry. That sounds really hard. There's a lot there. Like, you not being out of the closet is a whole other thing. And this one person knowing this very intimate part of you is another thing. Like, there is a lot there, and it's totally normal that you feel heartbroken and sad. Totally. It doesn't matter if you can call it a breakup or not, because it just doesn't matter. You feel heartbroken. You want. So who cares what you call it? But we were talking about this earlier before we were recording, and it's like, it feels almost like these situationships and these things that have a lot more unknowns than knowns are harder to go through, are harder to let go of, because you've painted whatever picture that you wanted it to be. You've basically been able to say, oh, this person is so perfect for me. Like, I can just tell. I just know if we were together, it would be like this. And if we did this on the weekends, it would just be blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you don't know. You've never met. You've only talked online. Like, this is, to a larger scale, the whole idea of like parasocial relationships, where it's like, you think you know people online so well, even if you talk to them every day. It's like meeting Joel. We'd have no fucking idea. But in my head,
he's perfect.
He's perfect.
Keep it that way.
And I get that you guys have a much closer relationship than that example. Obviously, you guys talk all the time. But I think, again, to the habit point, if you can try to deduce it to that, I know it's going to hurt. But if you can try to say, well, of course, I'm going to feel this big hole in my heart because there is literally a hole of a thing I used to do and connect with every day. Try to replace it with something else to put that energy into. Maybe it's journaling. Like, still get those feelings out somewhere. I think that might help you, but tough.
Yeah, it's so much tougher. Like, the advice of making the list of like why the breakup happened, you can't have, because in your head it's perfect because there's no chance for the negative. But it is sounding like in your specific situation, you need a support system of friends who know you, who you can be yourself with. There is so much wrapped up. That's what I'm saying. Like, we need to find that, like, in a pen pal, online friendships. Like, we need a person who isn't crossing over into that romantic realm. Like, somebody that you can feel yourself with, somebody that you can feel known by. I think we need that. That's why our friendships are so important, because then if we don't have that, we do. And I'm really guilty of this. I think because I'm an introvert and I like to feel safe in smaller groups of people, that I can put too much into my relationship of like, this has to be my best friend. I'm like not really opening up to a lot of people. I'm only opening up to you. And that's not safe or healthy. And then if you do need to vent about your partner, you don't have anyone to talk to.
Yeah.
So I would put some energy into finding that, whether it is you found her online, like find friends online and keep those as friendships, and don't let it get to be too much, because you do need that support system. So you're not losing that whole system if your relationship doesn't work.
True, bitch.
Yep.
Okay, that's all our questions for early fresh breakup situation. And you know what? We got a lot more.
Yeah, too much, some may say.
Too much, some may say. We don't want to rush these stories. So we will pick up next week on the actual, like, moving on from a breakup aspect.
The several years later, you're still thinking about that person.
The big shit.
What the fuck do you do?
What the fuck do you do?
What were our main takeaways from today, do you feel?
So, good question, honey. What are our main takeaways from today? Don't talk directly after a breakup.
Yes.
Is probably the most maniest takeaway that we can share with you all.
Yeah, that's my number one advice that I can give to anyone.
Same.
Hardest to take. And rarely taken.
Yep.
But have you ever properly done that really quickly? Have you ever like actually cut that well? Actually, yeah, I think I have.
Like I think probably all of my breakups, I was never having like the let's keep chatting about our days thing.
Yeah.
That I didn't get.
Yeah.
But like I did have, you know, let's reopen the conversation if we should break up or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, yes. Mm-hmm. But never like, I just want to say good morning. I hope you have a great day. Like not that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. If there's anything you take from this episode, if you just went through a breakup and you like are keeping in contact,
don't.
Every time you go to do it, just hear our little voices in your ear going, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it, baby.
You'll be better. You'll be happier.
There's like nothing negative that can come out of not talking.
I had my thought again and I lost it again.
Oh, baby.
I think it's because I haven't eaten.
We didn't eat? Is somebody here?
Literally just heard a voice.
Neighbors.
Okay.
All right. Anyways, little babies. We're going on vacation with Taryn's parents.
Yeah.
So we'll be gone for a few days, but only a couple. So we won't miss anything. And we'll be right back here next week to wrap up the breakup chat. So if you have any additional questions that you want to try to get into us, send them now. We'll take a quick peek.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, baby.
Some of you wrote in some concise stories, and I thank you for that. Some of you wrote in some short novels. What did I tell you?
Did you say nothing long?
I did.
We will read them on our own, but we just can't.
We can't read them on the pod.
Yeah. As you saw, this took quite some time too.
And we want to share these stories because it seems like you guys like them. But we just need quick context and the cue.
I also feel like the best thing in a breakup is you feel so alone. You're like, I'm the only one who's gone through a breakup.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a post on the Staying Up Instagram.
Yeah.
If you're going through it and you want to like give advice, ask advice, chat with your fellow peepees, head over there. We are still working on getting a chat component up somewhere, but I feel like the best thing is not feeling alone and being like, oh my God, I went through that. So hopefully you resonated with some of these stories. 100%. That's why we wanted to give a few stories some like more personal context and just like a Q&A.
Yeah.
Because it helps so much to be like, oh my God, other people have gone through this and made it out alive.
We all do. Not all of us.
Anywho,
that was crazy.
Love y'all. Sweet dreams.
We love you guys. Have a nice week.
Yeah. I was going to say happy holidays, but Thanksgiving was
No.
last week.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa.
What else happens around now? I don't know.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry too. Love you guys. Bye.
I burped again.
Oh my God.
Slim Jim.